Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Classic Championship Series Intermediate League. My name is jasoncript5. I'm here with Septi. Today we got a wonderful matchup between Dorado Gaming Iota up against ID Toxin. How are you doing, Septi? You finished manager, you.
I'm chilling. If we're gonna talk about finish, how about we talk about you stumbling on that intro there? Anyway, I'm really excited to get into this. Actually, we're already 4 bans into this game. Super hard top focus coming out in this first phase of bans. Dorado Gaming not gonna let Blingo. So first thing to note is that Blingo is gonna be e-subbing for ID Toxin in this game, and Dorado Gaming are immediately gonna target him by taking away any of those supportive tanks in the top side.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of the targeted top lanes, I think, it's a good idea, especially if they've identified their, kind of emergency sub top laner as a weakness. It does give Iota a very, very big draft advantage. So only being able to ban out the Gwen means that, there's so many more different priority picks that Iota has access to. However, one priority pick that ID Toxin have been able to get their hands on is that Zaya.
Yeah, Zaya being really strong in this meta, with all those engage and supportive tanks taken away from the top side, picking up an ADC that's able to create so much peel and safety for herself is going to be really pivotal in this, ID Toxin playstyle, I imagine. Something that we have to note actually is that Rakan has been really prevalent so far in the last patch and is also a champion that Blobby is very keen on picking. So with the Jinx being locked in for Dorado Gaming Iota, I'm really curious to see if Dorado Gaming would like to take that away, or if they're just going to go for the counter in Thresh, which is another really good answer to Rakan because when he tries to jump in, you get a really easy flay into a hook potentially. And so even though the Zaya Rakan is very strong and Rakan, should be able to exit, if the Thresh plays it well, they should be able to trap them very well.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be one thing to keep in mind. I think another thing to keep in mind is Dorado Game Iota are rocking with their substitute mid laner, the sexiest man alive, Sluter. So, he's a very diverse champion pool, very, very fun player to watch. So I look forward to see how that goes down. We see the Scion early lock-in, and I think this is kind of a, emergency draft response when it comes to ID Toxin. A lot of the tanks in the top lane have already been banned out. So picking up the Scion, especially such a, one of the stronger tanks out of the remaining couple, this early on in the draft means that they are able to get a comfort pick. However, it does leave the door open for that counter pick for Dorado Game Iota.
It definitely opens up the counter pick early. You were gonna have to blind a solo lane at some point. And picking it really early in this Scion does let Dorado Gaming, potentially answer on this last pick. But something I want to note is that you were talking about how Dorado is playing with a substitute mid, as who is Sluter, and Sluter is known, for playing more aggressive champions. Has been known to take the Jax potentially. Um, for
I don't know
themselves.
about
So I'm
that.
curious. I don't think they'll be taking it mid. I just know that this Jax is a pick for themselves. But something also to note is that Scion is going to be really important in this game when you're looking at champions like Thresh and Jinx. Just to have a body that's able to stand in front and really, do the classic old tanking job of just eating bullets and skill shots. But moving into this second phase of bans, Dorado Gaming taking a target on the support pool from ID Toxin, just banning away those super strong engaged supports that would pair very nicely with Scion and Wukong, as I believe I'm going to be getting a nice set of cat ears. And ID Toxin is going to, go for a really interesting story, a really interesting set of bans here. They're really going to try and lock up this, or deny, sorry, the lockup potential that Iota could pick in this second phase of draft. But Sejuani being locked in means that the lockdown is in.
Yeah, unfortunately, Septi, you look nowhere near as good as me with those cat ears on. But I like the Sejuani, playing towards that double melee top side, leaving open that counter pick for Sluter, who isn't known for being aggressive. He's known for being the sexiest man alive, Septi. Get your facts straight. I like the karma here, establishes some form of kind of pushback in towards the lane. I'm really curious to see why ID Toxin go for that final mid laner. They're, I think, picking something with damage, picking something with, utility that can work with the team, that can play safe, peel away from the Jax, Sejuani jumping in, keep a safe distance from Jinx and Thresh. I think that's what ID Toxin really want to go for right now. And I think having that E-subs, losing out those two bans definitely does restrict how they want to draft. But looking at the 5 champions that ID Toxin have right now with that Syndra hover, it feels like they haven't really lost any bans. I feel like if I'm ID Toxin, I'm okay to work with that draft.
Yeah, I mean, the ID Toxin draft definitely does look really solid. You have the long range poke of Karma and Syndra. You have the safety in that Zaya pick. You also have a really strong and standard front line in Wukong and Sion, your damage distribution as well is fairly evenly spread. With true magic damage coming out of Syndra Karma, and then Sion is probably going to be going for that Heart Steal. So even some, I believe it's true damage procs coming out from the Heart Steal. But we talked about in the first phase, Looter is a very aggressive mid laner and is not going to be backing down from the Syndra matchup, and opts for a pick that sort of is a little homeless, I feel, in this game. Yes, it has a decent matchup into the Syndra, but if you ever get in range of Karma, or if you ever try and dive onto the back line, and Karma can react in time, she will tether you and reveal you the entirety of the time that you're in your shroud. And realistically, who are you targeting on this Akali, right? Are you picking it just for the lane to try and, deny this Syndra? Because later on into the game, the only person you can threaten is going to be Karma, right? Because Zaya's going to have her Feather Storm. Syndra's going to be able to knock you away with her Scatter of the Weak. And realistically, Akali is going to be relying on Jax and Sejuani to be those dive partners for her. And it's not going to be, consistent every fight. And so it's going to be on Sluter, I think, this game to really get themselves a lead and really push the tempo of the game.
Well, I believe in Sluter, Septi. I don't know about you, but kind of looking at this draft, I'm definitely up in the air about the Akali. I like it though. I think it's one of Sluter's best champions. I think if he can avoid, I mean, the way I see it is that once Sion dumps the CC, he's not going to be in the back line playing towards defending the carries. I feel like Karma and maybe Wukong Syndra will be the only like sort of threats in terms of Akali and her unfettered access in towards the back line. So I think if Sluter's able to be patient, wait out some of those spells, and then look on towards that back line, I think he's going to have a really good time. Especially since I feel like the rest of ID Toxin is going to be targeting towards that Jax and Sejuani, getting those kills. And if they're going to go for a dive, they want to be able to dive on Jinx. Now, keeping that in mind, though, what do you think? What are your predictions for this first game, Septi?
Well, realistically, I think going into this game, it's going to be a matter of who can stall more, right? You have the Sion and the Wukong who are going to be playing in front of their carries, and just trying to buy time because this Jinx cannot run past them. With the Cyclone, with I don't remember what Sion's Q's name is, but
Decimating
with
Smash.
Decimating Smash, I thought it was something like that.
See, if you're a
Um,
better caster, you would know the name. Cheers.
Gonna ignore that and keep moving on. It's
Yeah.
really just going to depend on how long these front lines can last in front of the carries, right? And if Akali is able to tie up Desai's attention, um, for long enough, Jinx and Jax will just be able to completely shred down the front line of ID Toxin and, allow the Jinx to actually free hit and get some nice resets off in these fights. But I mean, if I were just to look at this and understand that I'm, casting, CCS intermediate, I probably would say that ID Toxin probably has the better foundation in this game and probably has a better chance of winning just because their comp, certainly has the ease of execution advantage in this game. I think Iota is going to really have to focus on, outscaling and really, out macroing their opponents throughout this entire game. And if they're not able to do that, it is going to be a tall task for this Dorado side.
Yeah, speaking of tall tasks, the tall task every caster has to deal with is wait for that spectate delay break. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with game one of Dorado Gaming Auto versus ID Toxin. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CCS Intermediate League Week 5, Dorado Gaming Iota versus ID Toxin. Once again, I'm jasoncript5, and I have my wonderful friend, my wonderful co-manager on Football Manager, Septi, with me. What do we think about, some runes, some early setups, and what Dorado Gaming Iota is doing right now?
I need to set something straight. We are not friends. All right, how dare
Oh, what?
you? How dare you?
Oh, hell nah.
Anyway, so an
Cheers.
educate's coming out from Iota onto this top side here means that they are going to get a ward onto the Grump. It is not actually going to spot out that blue buff start if Sutek decides to go for it. So a little bit of a misplay, I think, coming out from whoever dropped that ward. I believe it was Top Dream or Shady Gecko, one of the two. Doesn't matter, because ID Toxin was able to get a counter ward onto the blue buff, but we will be potentially having a scrap on this bot side as these teams walk into the blue buff together. Smart from Shady Gecko to wait for their team, does not know where the opposing bot lane and jungle are, but Sutek, Chill Will Kills, and your Bombs OP are super ready for this fight, and I actually think that this goes really poorly for Dorado if they walk into this.
I mean, it depends on how they choose to distribute damage. We see a lot of damage going in after a save. You got the flash force out already, hook going in on towards the Zai, but Sutek is just pummeling autos, gets the first blood on towards Shady Gecko, and it looks like the side of ID Toxin are able to get off a really good level 1 start, cheesing out in the bush. I mean, definitely well played from the side of ID Toxin, but you have to wonder from Dorado Iota, why not just wait a few more seconds for the sweep, or why not just play a bit more patiently? See the hook going down on towards Chill Will Kills, but, it's level 1. I don't think anything's going to go down.
We have to remember, actually, you said the super thing, but we have to remember that on this patch, 30 seconds was added to that super timer, so it actually wouldn't have come up until 2 minutes time. And so, realistically, the only way for them to check that would have been with a Thresh hook, or, a ward used by someone else. So ultimately, very good job from ID Eclipse. They took the over-aggression from Dorado on their top side and turned it into a first blood for their jungler. And, Sutek on this Wukong actually can take over the game, really well. His top dream is not letting Blingo breathe in this top side. But we see pings going onto the top side, and we actually could see another early scrap between these junglers. Keep in mind, Sutek will have that first blood lead and is going to back at 2.5 minutes for Sheen.
Yeah, I mean, does get that Sheen off of the base, but Shady Gecko, being a bit smart here, is going to be able to take away the blue buff, using that top priority, using the fact that, Sutek will probably go for that early base. So, good job from Shady Gecko using that to his advantage. But, Sutek, CB Galaxy Savior definitely does have a good hand of this, but Shady Gecko is definitely in trouble now. Wants to use the Leap Strike from the Jax, but Top Dream might be no trouble here. Halas has rotated over, levels to be on the Syndra, waits for the Scatter of the Week, doesn't hit it though, so I think they should be able to walk on out of there unscathed. Top Dream, happy birthday to him. Not gonna be able to get picked off just yet. Sluter able to play bodyguard, big bro right there, make sure his top laner can walk on out there. And Shady Gecko, I mean, he's going for these good ideas. He's going for, plays that aren't bad on the surface, but, just a bit of overzealousness, a bit of overstay. And Sutek, sitting 2-0 right now, has a Sheen and is going to get accelerated even more.
Yeah, I think in a situation like that where you don't have a track of where Sutek is, you don't exactly know where on the map he pathed to after that blue buff, you're not really allowed to go for that, right? Especially, we talked about the mid lane, the top lane priority from Top Dream, but on the other side, Hollis had the exact same priority in the mid lane and was already sitting in the top river when that play started. And keep in mind, it's not like Shady Gecko had nothing to do, right? It's not like they were forced to go into that invade. They still had their Krug camp available and still could have looked to potentially do something with their top laner at level 3. But I mean, other than that, just a very nice move from the side of ID Toxin to capitalize on their jungler, on the jungler, of Dorado Gaming Iota, and pick up a second kill onto Sutek, who is just having so much fun this game, is already up 8 CS, and is just going to look to continue to snowball this lead. But Top Dream,
yeah, Top Dream wants to look to snowball himself on towards Blingo DX. No flash available for the Jax. Means that Blingo DX is going to be able to walk on out of there, able to live it out. But if you look at that lane state, Septi, it's not looking very good.
No, it is not. The cannon's still alive on the blue side there, which means that the wave will be pushing into Top Dream. And let's just see, this is where real top lane prowess can show, if Top Dream is able to actually freeze this wave on top side, because the Jax doesn't have teleport anymore. you know, will not be able to come back to this lane if something goes wrong with the minions. But in response, Blingo has decided to scoot back to this top lane. Has some decent trading coming out onto this mid lane here. Means that Sluter, who is going to be close to level 6 in the next wave or two, could potentially look onto Hollis, who should be forced to base here and will do so with the teleport.
Yeah, I mean, it's really well played from Sluter, just dodging out all those balls, dodging out the abilities from Syndra, playing towards that confidence, playing towards, you know, that mechanical aggressiveness that Sluter is very well known for. Sluter also very well known for being just so attractive, man. I love him. But, you know, that's another story for another day, Septi. Right now, the story is, you know, how can Shady Gecko recover himself back into this game? Sutek has a monumental lead, hasn't based off the Sheen, takes the invade on towards Shady Gecko's Wolves. This is looking very bad for the Iota jungler.
Yeah, and this is going to be really scary and really tragic for Shady Gecko because they were going to go for an invade onto the top side of Sutek, but we're scared away by the fact that they didn't know where the Wukong was. And as a result, Sutek was able to invade and take away those wolves, which means that the gap is going to be even bigger, right? Just looking at it already, it's 10 CS lead in the favor of Sutek, and that's before he returns to what will be a fully respawned jungle. And so, you know, in this game, Shady Gecko really is just going to be forced to build a super low econ style, you know, shouldn't be trying to build anything cute, you know, should not be trying to build an extra Bomby Cinders potentially before going for their Radiant Virtue, should just try and beeline the item, and really just, you know, play for their team, right? Jungle changes, you know, recently means that farming has become a lot more important. You're not able to get as much XP from your laners anymore. And so the fact that Shady Gecko is losing out on so much minion gold and XP just means that they're not going to be able to really stick into this game, as they are able to secure that crab on the top side. But, I mean, looking at the way this early game has been going for ID Eclipse, ID Toxin, rather, they are super happy in this game as Sluter is constantly going to be trading with Hollis. But something to note, rather, is we should see what kind of impact Top Dream can have on this jungle matchup, because in about 40 seconds time, in the jungle matchup, in about 40 seconds time, the Rift Herald will be spawning, and hopefully, you know, if
Sluter going for the perfect execution here. R1 is going to land the Q, going to be landing. Scatter the Weak is forced out. Sluter is going to take it, though. Does have that Ignite, remember. Is he going to take the either? Sure, can flip backwards. This,
no.
Sluter goes to that 1-for-1 trade. Shady Gecko loses out on that red buff as well. The red buff auto slows, pummeling Shady Gecko right now. Forced to hit him with the Kid Nemo. I mean, well played from Sluter, picking up that solo queue, setting up the wave in a decent position. So, you know, if I'm the mid laner for Dorado Gaming Auto, I would take that. However, the thing is, once again, Sutek is just absolutely running this jungle right now. This is looking like Canyon versus Peanut right now. The way that Sutek is just absolutely dominating the map. Sure, Top Dream has a very significant CS lead up in that top side, but I kind of want to see if we can get a gold toggle from our production anytime soon, because I'm really curious to see how these early leads have translated into gold so far.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this top side, you already have about a 1,200 gold lead for this Jax in the matchup, but that is not... it's not going to mean a whole lot, right? Because Sutek is also very strong in this jungle lead. Only has about a 800 gold lead themselves, but the Cyclone comes out as well.
Oh, Sutek goes with the Flash Cyclone. We see the ultimate come in from the side of Top Dream. A tower shot, able to pick up Sutek. Top Dream gonna be his nightmare here. Waiting for the spell rotation to come back up. Doesn't have the Counter-Strike stun available just yet. Blingo DX able to pick up the kill, but that is an absolutely huge shutdown going over towards Top Dream, going over towards this Jax. So fed in this matchup, ahead in so much CS. Sure, Blingo DX gets the return kill, but once again, I mean, Top Dream absolutely popping off up 40 CS onto this Scion, on towards Blingo DX. Shady Gecko moving in towards this top lane to just ward off the emergency sub. Top laner might want to look for a kill here, especially since Scion has no R, but I don't know if you have enough damage.
JC, what shutdown?
Sutek had a shutdown.
Wukong did not have a shutdown going into that play. Did not have a
shutdown. He had one earlier.
Despite being 800 gold up, there was no shutdown in the chat. Hold on. Sutek is going to be trying to go into the top tier. Probably going to get exhausted.
I mean, speaking of shutdowns, it looks like Sutek wants to move into shutdown the bot lane of Iota. I mean, they're just sitting in the bush, fully warded, and, you know, well played from ID Toxin. Just pretend like they weren't there, and you know, the gold lead is not that
Bubster.
significant. Oh, Bubster wants to go for the kill, is going to be able to get it on Chill Will Kills, but Sutek coming on in here, 1E, 1Q. Sutek picks up another kill. 3, 1, and 2 on the Monkey King right now. Sluter is going to roam on down, is going to spot out the ID Toxin Jungler. No ultimate available. Misses the Shuriken flip though. Does he have enough damage to pick up the kill? One more perfect execution. Misses the auto on towards Sutek. It's not looking very good. Sluter has to run on out there. Top Gene trading up in towards the top side. The Glacial Prince coming out from Shady Gecko as well. House might be in trouble. The ultimate available for Kali with the E-Flash coming in from your mom's OP means that the Xayah is able to set up the Akali for a kill. Sutek playing at death's door right now, able to get up next to the shot of the week, but no, Shady Gecko forces out that flash, picks up the trade kill on towards the jungler for ID Toxin. It's a forced 1 for 3 after, oh no, 1 for 2, sorry, after the extended play.
And it's a disaster for Dorado Gaming Iota. That play went from bad to even worse. You know, you have Blobby going down on that bot side after not being able to escape with their flash into Sluter misplaying a kill onto Sutek. Canceled the auto, I think, once or twice before getting stunned up by Hollis, who did a very nice job of keeping their jungler safe. And then Shady Gecko just not being able to find the finish onto that jungler. I believe Sutek survived the fight as well, landing a very nice Cyclone to, you know, disengage those melee carries from the side of Dorado. And as a result, we're already looking at only a 300 gold lead, which I believe is mostly in part to Top Dream's massive lead on this bot side. But looking now at the jungle CS, right, it's almost back to even. Sutek has gone for so many plays on the map at this point, and while they have, you know, been fairly successful, having, you know, 6 of 8 kill participation, it's allowed Shady Gecko to sort of get back into this game, and Sutek is going to get spotted out.
Yeah, Sutek gonna get spotted out here. Sejuani able to get the first knock up, that W able to get him over the wall. Top Dream going for that trade on towards Blingo here, but Shady Gecko might be in trouble, but I don't think a Xayah running at you will do much for now. Top Dream once again just being so relentless, gonna use that ultimate, force the flash out the Scion, and Top Dream is just absolutely railing in this top side. 60 CS lead for that Jax. Top Dream is different. He wants to put that birthday legacy series on display here. Bubster with that ultimate isn't going to be able to steal the dragon, blocked out by your mom's OP. Oh, I mean, consider this, Septi. The gold lead is dead even right now, but the kill score is 8-4. So I think Dorado Gaming Iota very much have angles and ways back in towards this game. It's just whether or not they can play to the right conditions, play to where the gold is, notably being on Top Dream and also on Bubster. So keeping that in mind, you know, I feel like the game, we're back at scratch here. It's just a very different approach on how both teams want to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, and silently off camera, Shady Gecko was able to pick up that Rift Herald. So, you know, another good advantage going out to Dorado. Let's see if they're able to drop it before this 14-minute mark. And Blobby trying to predict the flash that was not on your mom's OP. But yeah, looking at the gold, really, you know, just ADCs are even. The top laner in Top Dream is up about 1,200 gold still. Jungle is only 900 gold. And the mid laner for ID Toxin, Hollis, is doing a very nice job, up about 300 gold themselves in this matchup. And so the fact that this gold lead is as close as it is, and on the right people for, you know, the side of ID Toxin, means that Dorado Gaming is really going to have to force focus onto getting Top Dream as far ahead as possible in this top lane matchup to really skew the pressure on the map as we move into this middle and late game. But just looking at the way that this game has developed so far, right, we have no towers dropped, which is really nice. And I think where a lot of the gold lead comes back from Dorado Gaming is in these tower plates. Because you already have 2 off on the bot side, 2 off on the top side, and only 1 off on each tower.
Yeah, Sutek is going to get hooked up by the Thresh as well. The Jinx Trap's going to be there to ward off any danger. Sutek goes for the flash blast time, but Bubster able to pick up the kill on towards the Wukong in the top side as well. There's going to be a dive as well on towards Hollis, on towards the side of the Top Dream. Tanking just a little bit too much tower. Anything on towards Hollis will be able to pick up the kill. The shutdown going over towards Top Dream. It's a 1-for-1 in this top side. I don't know if the base health on Top Dream is going to be enough for Blingo DX right now. Top Dream going to go in with that lead strike. The tower just at 1 HP. It's a 2-for-1 going in the favor of Dorado Gaming out of top lane tower, going down as well. But the hook going in on towards Karma as well. The trap's gonna be down. Chill Will Kills is gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. Bubster bumping away at those autos, flashes in to get the kill on towards Karma. Is gonna be able to trade it, but at the cost of his own life. Yormon's OP able to pick up one, but the top side as well. Top Dream once again picking up that single dingle on towards Blingo XD, and that's gonna be extended 2-for-4 4 in the favor of Dorado Gaming Iota, and this is looking extremely good. Your mom's OP might have bitten off more than she could chew, though. Sluter coming on in does have that perfect execution and ignite available. Now going down onto the Zai as well. The perfect execution, everything is just dumped on the AD carry. The shutdowns are rolling over in towards the pockets of the solo laners for Dorado Gaming Iota. Really well played mechanical fights, able to get them back into the game and into the gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, when it rains, it pours, and for Dorado Gaming, it pours kills for them. You know, bumping up already to about a 1,500 gold lead just in that one sequence alone means that this game is looking a whole lot brighter than it was just even a few minutes ago. Bubster getting that kill onto Karma is a nice trade for themselves. I think Blobby might have actually killed themselves in that fight by accident by flaying the Xayah behind them, and as a result got the feathers pulled through them as well. But either way, we have pings going onto the top side for Dorado Gaming, and a whole shift of the map for this Rift Herald spawning in 10 seconds means that I imagine it should go the way of Dorado. And with that pressure from Herald, we could see them use it onto that mid lane as well. But I mean, we are going to have Hollis coming up towards this mid lane here, and I'm really curious to see if we get a fight or if Sluter could catch her on the way.
Sluter wants to catch out Hollis. Is going to be able to land the shuriken flip. We see a scuffle in the top side as well. We're going to have to pan down in a bit later. No flash out off the Syndra. Perfect execution still available. Sluter jumping into Joy with that Penguin right now, forcing the Syndra in towards the offer quake. Top green jumping in on towards Yormon's OP, forces the cleanse out. Really good. The cycle coming down, able to scatter so much damage on towards that Jack. The 550 bounty going over towards Sutek as well. The savior of CB Galaxy wants to save ID Talk to but Sluter and Shady Gecko say no. 1-for-1 trade so far. The flash follow from Sluter going on in with that sure kill from Vimzal, able to get the kill on towards Hollis, but Karma able to kick the kill. Chill Will kills, putting himself on the board there. 2 for 2 for both teams. However, I still feel like Dorado Gaming Iota will take that, considering that they're able to get the kills. Not good. That shutdowns go over from Top Dream onto Sutek though.
Yeah, I mean, this play looked so good for the side of ID Talks, and it was really good from Sluter to be able to find those kills back onto the top side. Maybe went a little bit deep there, trying to really get that kill back onto Syndra. You know, Chill Will Kill is doing a very nice job landing that route onto this Kali, means that they were able to trade back the mid laners. But in the end, Dorado Gaming is going to be able to walk out with this Herald, and I want to see ID Toxin capitalize this and go for the Dragon, which it does look like they're going to do, but Top Dream is already back in this mid lane and is going to try to get mid lane pressure. And JC, I think we're going to get round 2 right here as Hook lands on.
Yeah, round 2 coming on. Hook on towards the Zion as well as stun. Force out the flash with the light deep strike coming in from Top Dream as well. There's a lot of damage being stacked up. The ult being used from the Jack. So good status of the week to dispel Shady Gecko, dispel Top Dream. Dragon already going over towards Sutek though. Has that Divine Thunder, has a lot of those base damages, but we see the Herald going down in towards this mid lane. Dorado Gaming Iota want to make a push for this mid lane tower. They want to be able to open up the map more, but with no Bubster inside, I think that's just going to be a charge gone.
Yeah, a little bit of a premature usage of that Rift Killer there, and I think Dorado Gaming lost the plot a little bit when they saw that silence.
Oh, here we go. 1v1 between 280 heights. Normal OP not going to be able to get the route on towards Bubster, but is that going to be enough? One more auto, one more ult will do it. Bubster able to just edge on out. Not enough damage coming in, but Sutek coming on in. CB Galaxy Savior picking up another kill. 5, 4, and 3 on the Monkey King right now. I mean, well played from Yormon's OP, just using that bush, using that cheese, catching out a unaware, unattempted Bobster, but Sluter coming on in here. Gonna dump some damage on towards Sutex right now. The Blast Pine is available. The Shuriken Flip not gonna be there. It looks like Sutex just be able to walk on out with a free kill unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, and even with all of that, Dorado Gaming is still up 1,000 gold. And so I think if you're ID Toxic, you're tired of this gold lead. But it doesn't really matter because they're super happy. You have 3 dragons to your name. You know, Chemtech Soul is the worst soul in the game, I think, statistically speaking. But, I mean, a Dragon Soul is a Dragon Soul. And it means that you are going to have that little bit of extra damage. Don't actually know what the soul buff is. I know it's less. I know it's more damage below half HP.
It is.
But either way, I think if you're Dorado Gaming, you're a little bit happy, right? Jinx is almost on her IE as well as that Kraken Slayer. You have, you know, matching items pretty much everywhere. I don't really see an item discrepancy on any lane in particular. Even the junglers are really even, right? We have Shady Gecko, you know, with that Finished Radiant Virtue as well as the Bombi Cinder, you know, to the Wukong's Sunder and Caulfield's Warhammer, which means that these jungle matchups are actually going to be fairly close to parity here. As you know, while Sutek has 1,000 gold lead for themselves, it doesn't really show so far in items. and it's really going to be on the jungler for ID Toxin to make this gold lead felt. Otherwise, I think Dorado Gaming is going to have a fairly happy time as they go on further into this game. And with Shady Gecko hovering this bot side, you could potentially see another fight here as the entirety of ID Toxin is in this bottom quadrant of the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's gonna get stumped up. Top 3 might be in a little bit. Oh, the hook lands on towards your arms. Up the cleanse. Used way too early. The flash burns as well. Unstoppable force coming in from Sion as well. Gonna land on towards the Thresh. No, Blobby with a good flash as well. Shady Gecko coming on and picks up the kill with that spike. Picks it up with the Glacial Prison as well. Thresh might be in trouble. No, great hook from Blobby. See able to dispel that decimating slash. Another great hook to prevent anything further else onwards. And they wanted to look for the play on towards top Dream, but Dorado Gaming Iota said otherwise. They want to bring the play to them.
Yeah, they're looking to angle towards Baron here, actually. I thought the mid lane play was going to be, the one to go for, but keep in mind, they don't have their ultimate abilities. Blobby is still off of base, so until Blobby arrives, this is going to be a 4v3, and it looks like Sutek is going to just try and take away this red buff. Hollis getting far too close for comfort. Blobby going to be able to find Sutek.
Oh, Sutek flashes wave, getting caught out by the hook, by the stun as well. Sutek might be in a little bit of trouble. Does have that cycle in the last dispel method, but not even going to be able to use it. Top Dream picks up the kill. Iota picks up the Baron, and Sluter wants to pick up more.
Yeah, Dorado Gaming taking massive steps to get their advantage going in this game, being able to pick up the Baron, being able to pick up the kill onto the enemy jungler, who still has not been able to finish that second top Dream. He's going to get rooted up here. Does have the Lantern. He's going to be able to get out of that precarious situation. And that was almost really bad for Dorado Gaming, right? If top Dream dies there, you lose Baron on the split pusher. And someone who's really able to, you also lose a shutdown. Top Dream might have also, used their stopwatch if they had it available. I'm not quite sure if they just bought it there. But either way, I mean, Dorado Gaming is really, really, really happy in this game right now. You have the Baron buff. You're set up in the mid lane. I think if you're, playing this out, in the sort of expected order, you're going to be looking to push the side lane in with top Dream and then look to threaten dives onto this mid lane tower on repeat. Considering that Jax does not have the teleport, it is a little bit curious as to why he's sitting on this top side with soul points spawning in 30 seconds, but he's going to get that crash in. And with the timing that it took top Dream to go to the top side, ID Toxin was able to set up in this river, and now it's going to be a problem for Dorado Gaming trying to walk in here. And I'm curious to see if they're going to just trade or if they're going to try and fight into them.
I mean, the thing is, this mid tower should be completely free. I think it allows Iota to play this vision. They can walk it. They have full mid control. They have full mid priority. So the map opens up for them to play through. We see Sluter coming in on a flank here. This is good positioning from Iota so far. Gonna go for the collapse. Sutek might be in a little trouble here. We see Sluter jump on it. Sluter not gonna be able to land any ability. Sluter might just get blown up. The Zion comes down. Sutek picks up the kill on towards one. Shady Gecko trying to play some damage on, but Top Dream coming on and use that stun, just plays for the stall. We see Bubster able to pick up the kill on towards Sutek as well. Top Dream can use that counter strike to just play so much defense right now. That's a Jax, but that's dead as well. Your mom's will be able to pick up the kill as well. This fight is looking not so good for the side of Bubster. Is gonna be a free hit, though absolutely running down the rest of ID Toxin, and it's looking like the Bubster show right now. Oh, your mom's will be able to just get the recall off. But wow. Triple kill going over towards Bubster. It doesn't matter if your solo laners are dead. That's a 4 for 2 in the favor of Dorado Gaming Iota. Bubster just able to free hit the entire fight under zero pressure. Dragon picked up for Iota. Soul point, or Dragon Soul denied.
Yeah, the fight is a tale of two ADCs rather. Your mom's OP doing a very nice job of being able to kite around with those feathers in the first half of the fight, being able to find so much damage onto the entirety of Dorado Gaming. Sluter going definitely too far in that initial engage, but then your mom's OP kind of ran out of gas at the end of that first engagement, which let Bubster, who had full health, full mana, get 3 hits onto the low members already of ID Toxin and just get reset after reset. Sort of a surprise that they just forgot about the Xayah. Maybe they thought that she had walked back down the lane. But either way, I mean, Bubster really showed the proper damage of this Jinx and what she can do in this game. Top Dream, again, I have to credit for doing a very nice job of stalling out the backline, while Bubster was able to deal lasting damage.
Whoa, Sluter, whoa!
It's far too far forward. And Saluda's just going to be able to pick up a very nice freebie here. Still has the R2. Might get a little bit greedy here. Nope, will not. We'll just ult out. But, I mean, a kill like that is really going to open up the map, right? Because we have Sion potentially caught out in the bot side. And I want to see if Saluda will move down to pick out this side laner. Will not. Will decide to stick around the mid lane and just look to chunk down the enemies of ID Toxin on this mid tower.
What can I say here? Oh, your mom's up. You're gonna get hooked on in. Cleanse first out as well. Desire gonna come down as well, but it's gonna be enough. No damage, no kills yet. The Jigsaw gonna be used early. The Sejuani all going wide as well. Shady Gecko doing his best. Like Smithy cosplay, gonna be able to get the kill on towards Sutek on a killing spree now. Sutek, sure, he was granted that early gold lead, gifted it, granted an absolute boon, but Shady Gecko is the one with the shutdown now. Shady Gecko is the one that has the lead.
Yeah, and this shows some top class from Shady Gecko. You know, was down and out, but top Dream is not going to let me get my words out. Just gets a very nice solo kill onto Blingo, and Sluder is going to be here to secure that zombie kill. You know, massive credit has to go to Shady Gecko in this game. Was really kind of down and out in that early portion of the game. Was able to, you know, find their way back into it despite being stopped at multiple moments. Interesting usage of the Shirelia's Reverie there from Chill Will Kills. Maybe trying to get to the spot side here, but top Dream, no mana, no health. Could potentially just fall to a scatter, or rather a Unleash Power if Hollis decided to flash for it, but does not have it up. And Dorado Gaming is just going to take a reset before this Baron spawns in 60 seconds time, but Pubster has been backed into a corner.
Oh, Sutek and Bubster might be facing off. Sutek flashes on it as well. Sluder, good flash to dispel the damage. Is it going to be a follow-up? Lobby might just be the sacrificial support here. Gonna walk on out the box. Just does so much on the slow. We see Shady Gecko. Oh, Shady Gecko. Oh!
But here comes
almost
Top Dream.
Kill there. Top Dream coming on in. Here comes the counter-strike. Oh, just going to get absolutely blown up. The Zio used a bit preemptively there. And Top Dream definitely got a bit overzealous there, just gets completely focused. The rest of the squad not able to be there to follow up. A lot of key cooldowns burnt a bit too early. Means that it's just going to be a free one for Oak going over in the favor of ID Toxin. But once again, this gold lead at 7,000 right now. Dragon coming up in a minute 30. So ID Toxin do have that option to play for that should they choose to. Dragon Soul is
are going on to the Baron. Is ID Toxin going to go for this Baron on spawn? It looks like they might. With the Dorado Gaming members in base or going for recalls, we might have caught them sleeping here. It's going to go down to 9,000. It's not going to be fast enough, I don't think, before Shady Gecko can arrive. Actually, no. The feathers have gone through, and Sluder is here. Bubster,
yeah, Shady Gecko not going to be on there yet. Back to Bounty does go over towards ID Toxin. Shirelia is used out just for that safe escape, and it's a good way back in towards the game. They should be able to use this mid push and play for this Dragon. This Dragon Soul is absolutely crucial here. Sure, it may not be the best soul. Sure, Dorado Gaming out of don't care too much, but still, a soul is stats that are unaccounted for, and I think they can still do some good work here.
Yeah, and that Baron itself cut the gold lead by 2,000 gold in favor of ID Eclipse, getting the 500 gold bounty from being able to, from taking that objective. And I need to say something, right? Look at Top Dream's build. He's going for the Zhonya's Hourglass, which is a build that has been definitely nerfed on Jax in recent patches. Definitely is not sort of the most standard pick here, as Shady Gecko is going to spot out the encroaching members of ID Toxin. And not going to be able to...
Sion coming down the flash, all forced out of Hollis as well. Who is this Sion going to crash in? Crashes in towards the Sejuani. Objective bounty goes over in the favor of ID Toxin as well, but Sluder is just doing so much work on that backline, just drawing every single member of ID Toxin away. They're abandoning Sutek. Bubster is unstoppable as Sluder is still unscathed. Blobby wants to go for the chase on towards the Sion tanks. Another tower shot. Hollis able to get the kill thanks to Scatter Weak, but Top Dream is here. Gets the counter strike, but forced to use a flash. It's a 1-for-1. Jungle for support, but the health bars are a little bit low. Bubster wants to change that though. It's looking like it's going to be a clean disengage.
Sluder is on the flank though.
Sluder does land that shuriken flip, but can't jump in on. They're just a little bit too dangerous right now. ID Toxin have the ban. They should be able to push in towards this mid lane. TPs are not available for the solo laners of Dorado Gaming Iota, so it looks like they're gonna play some good. They're gonna play some buddy cop here, holding up on the side, holding up on that push. They want to look for a play. They want to look for the 2v4. Top Dream's counter strike does run out though, but it looks like Dragon Soul will go over to ID Toxin.
Yeah, we call those stall tactics potentially from those top side there, but Sluder
it looks like they want to go for the counter. Your mom's OP has no way out. Blingo GX is no way out. It's 2 for 0. Going over, and it's a double kill. Going over towards Bumster. Sure, Dragon Soul does go in favor of ID Toxin, but that's a 10 and 3 Jinx, Septi.
Yeah, I mean, you trade 900 gold plus assists for that dragon there. But I mean, ultimately, it was a very nice cleanup from Dorado Gaming, right? Members from ID that had flash over the wall. But Dorado Gaming just coming in to vacuum up those extra kills, sort of, you know, in trade for that dragon. It was a little bit unfortunate, but ID decided that getting the dragon was more important than just taking it, or than just living themselves and giving over any gold, because they already know they're behind, right? So what's, you know, 900 gold to a dragon soul? But I mean, looking back at that, look, I wanted to talk about that first fight because it was really close. The margins were so thin for either team. Sutek got a very nice cyclone in the backline to slow down the members of Dorado Gaming Iota. And we talked about this in pre-draft, right? We talked about which frontline will be able to stall longer for their carries to deal with the tanks. We saw, you know, Sluter going on the backside trying to, you know, distract your mom's OP and Hollis. We saw Sutek and Blinga doing a very nice job of keeping the entirety bar Sluter of Dorado Gaming Iota locked up in that river there, so they couldn't actually DPS with their Akali. And as a result, the fight was kind of a standstill. The tanks didn't die. Sluter was able to walk it out. And I think, you know, only marginal deaths happen on either team. And so I think whichever frontline breaks first is going to be the team that breaks in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the Warmogs completed for Sejuani. We see the Zhonya's completed for Top Dream. Sutek still on 2 items. So Scion, build a bear workshop, is going to go for that Frozen Heart, but will that be enough? We see Sluter. Oh. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
That's looking like Crystal Palace in the last day of season, Septi.
It's looking like
falling
JT
short.
on anything other than Annie.
Ah, hell nah. My ace will go crazy. I don't want to hear it, Septi. Septi, how'd that APL game go? Speaking of how it goes, Sutek, not going to be going well for him. Able to flash on up. We see the triple TPs coming on in. That's going to be a lot of people in towards that middle lane. Top Dream going to take that unleashed power. Is going to be able to walk up. Sutek taking a lot of damage there, though. Forced back down in this mid lane. I mean, Sutek just got caught out, and you know, well played from Dorado Gaming Iota to be able to burn that summoner, but what can they do with this advantage?
Honestly, probably not much. Baron's not for a minute. Elder Dragon's not for 3. They might be able to get this top tower as a trade from Sutek just getting far too close. And Sutek hasn't even reset yet. It's still at 40% health, so they can't even properly defend this top tower. Top Dream actually.
Yeah, Top Dream wants to go on in here. Does have that Zhonya's to stall, but the Yormon's OP is going to put down those feathers. That's going to be a lock coming in on the Rootback. Sluter is going to get blown up. Duck, Goose. Double kill going over towards the Zaya.
Duck, Goose. Anyway, your mom's OP doing a very nice job playing that out very well. Holding onto the Featherstorm, instead of using it, you know, it was just a very interesting usage of abilities, opting to use the stasis from the Zhonyas instead of the Featherstorm. Maybe just holding it to see if they needed it for that specific moment, right? Sluter trying to go into that fight and get a trade onto the 80 carry, was able to do so, but at the cost of their own life. And just over-aggression from those soul laners, from Dorado Gaming. And I was going to talk about, oh, hold on.
Yeah, we see the flash is forced out. Shady Gecko uses that ultimate, but can't get full value out of it. And maybe that's the Chemtech soul diff, Septi. Maybe that's just a small difference. Maybe that's what would have kept Zaha at Palace. Just anything, a game of increments here, Septi.
I mean, you can keep making these football manager references. I'm the only one who's going to get them. And like maybe Flay and Eck if they're watching. It's kind of confusing for everyone else, but with the flash forced out from Hollis, Dorado Gaming is going to try and move into this river. They do have their soul inners.
They don't have the numbers though. Look at the Zion, 2-man knock-up. We see the follow-up coming on in. Sutek don't even walk from the traps just yet. But Bumps just still free hitting. Forced out the flash from Sutek. Still has that second charge of the cycle. Top Dream is just coming in. Dream had counter-strike. Sluter able to jump on in towards the backline as well. That's just so much damage coming in from Hollis. Top Dream picks him up. No Sluter able to get the kill there. And it's the solo laners for Dorado Gaming Iota showing up when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, the fight was so good if you were ID from the start. That's a 2-man Scion Sun, but it was just too much damage coming out from those soul inners of Dorado Gaming. The fact that Bubster was able to free hit from the back was just so nice. It looked potentially good when Hollis was able to get that 3-man scout of the week, but in the end, Dorado Game was just able to come up with a very, very nice fight win. Just showing the coordination that this team had, and Bubster as well, showing some great individual prowess, being able to flash away from that Wukong engage and really set up a very nice fight for them. And now with Baron, Dorado Gaming could potentially look to snowball this into an Elder Dragon. Because given how much priority you're able to get from those Baron Dub creeps, they should be able to walk into the spot side jungle, take away all the camps, take away all the vision, and just have full knowledge of this bot side of the map. And ID Toxin should not be able to walk in without losing one and or two members at the very least, trying to resecure vision.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 seconds to go. Lanes
They're not
in the best. Not in the best states though. The lanes for Dorado Game and Iota. We see the pushback coming in from ID Talks, but I don't think they care about the lane state. I think they just want to burst down this Elder Drake. Sluter might be in trouble. They're forced to use the Shroud a little bit early. See the Scion ultimate coming in from downtown, so Sluter just gets one shot by the Unleashed Power. Top Dream with another 3-man stun. The Zonians able to stall out a little bit more. The Elder is still active too. Blingo DX not going to be tanky enough, but Bubster picking up the legendary. Top Dream is going to get shut down. However, the Jinx is excited. That's going to be so much damage coming in from Bubster. Bubster jumping on it. Melee range Jinx. Triple kill going over towards the 80 carry for the side. Dorado Game Iota is going to be able to get the Quadra. Will he be able to get a yes? Quadra kill going over towards Bobster, and this Jinx is just untouchable, Septi.
Yeah, both front lines cracked at the same time, but the benefit definitely was in the favor of Bubster, that was able to get excited and just go absolutely crazy with that movement speed and attack speed on the Jinx, just finding rocket after rocket onto those key members of ID Toxin. Finding, that Syndra on the side was very nice. Hollows getting a little bit too excited, trying to get some trade damage back onto the Jinx. But in the end, Bubster played it very nicely, and, so did the entirety of this Dorado Gaming team. And with that fight win comes an Elder Dragon, JC. An Elder Dragon spells the end for ID Toxin. Whether Dorado Gaming, decides to actually end the game or play for content, we don't know yet. But with 5 members marching down this mid lane, we could potentially see an end in sight. But they do still have the Baron, right? I believe they have Baron. Maybe it'll be expiring as they get towards this tower. I believe it will. This is the last wave they will have it for. But the TP coming onto this mid lane means that they want to make this play happen right now.
Okay, recap. Elder Drake buff only available on Sejuani, Jinx, and Thresh. So the carries in the solo lanes won't be able to get it. We see the ultimate coming. Oh my god, that is just so much damage! On towards Hollows, evaporated from the face of the Rip. Bubster is just going wild right now, using that excited passive. They should be able to get the kills. They should be able to do so much here. Look at the damage coming in from the Jinx. They're blocking for the Jinx. They're blocking for the carry. They're allowing the Elder Drake to let him go. Bubster is legendary. Top Dream's gonna be in trouble. Uses the Zonias, able to stall out for some time, but I'm afraid it won't be long enough. Able to live thanks to a little bit of the shield. Once again, Bubster, one more auto would be able to get a kill on towards the Karma. Once again, they're going to focus their efforts back on towards the tower here. Bubster just free autoing right now. Gets that excited reset again, and he's just melting. He's just melting. ID Toxin. You know what? Cancels out Acid, Alkalize, because Bubster is looking face. Dorado Gaming Iota, take game 1.
Very nicely played from the side of Dorado Gaming, was able to pick up that win in a very convincing fashion after that early game. Looked a little bit flippy to begin with, but was able to sort of stabilize, find some very nice picks in the mid to late game. Not really looking too shaky on any direct front. The draft I criticized, they played out very well. Sluter doing a very nice job on the Akali to create that time for Bubster just to go absolutely insane in this game, dropping 69,000 damage over the course of the game, and very close to 420. Actually, we were we were very close to the almost very funny number on Bubster. 69,464 was their total damage. But I mean, looking at the map overall, right? We talked about the win conditions, right? We talked about which front line was going to be able to last the longest, which 80k was going to be released from their tank prison first, and Bubster just showed out, why this Jinx is such an important pick in a game like this. When there's a Scion that is just going to be, completely tanking up the front line. And I think, to ID Toxin's credit, Blingo is a emergency sub, is not their typical top laner, but I mean, still performed fairly okay, was able to find a couple nice ultimates and a couple nice decimating smashes onto the Dorado members, but ultimately, Bubster just coming in clutch in this entire game, doing a very nice job and carried it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really well played from the side of Bubster. Only died 3 times this entire game. Same thing with Shady Gecko. Really well played just to stabilize after that back and forth early game. I mean, it's just incredible solo performance from Bubster. Might challenge my Dorado Gaming Player of the Week spot there after that after those damage charts, FD for your brothers. But ladies and gentlemen, absolute banger of a game one. We're gonna take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game two between Dorado Gaming Iota and ID Toxin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on towards CCS Intermediate League Week 5 matchup between Dorado Gaming Outa and ID Talks. And I've changed out of my Catboy schoolboy fit because it is just way too hot, especially with how spicy this game has been. Septi, talk to me. What do you think is going to change in this game too?
Well, Yoon Gammon or Yoon Gammon? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna say Yoon Gammon. It looks like it's more correct. Either way, the ID Toxin top laner is back in this game, and so we've already seen a pivot coming out from Dorado Gaming in their draft. We saw 3 top laner bans last time, so they're really not trying to target out too much in this game. But ID Toxin has had enough of Top Dream and these carries. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess we're back to the cat ears. Um,
Oh, cheers.
regardless of the outcome of you wearing yours. But I mean, looking at this
I need to put
draft,
mine on, Wookie.
IOTA, I feel like have a certain ADC that they have in mind. Yeah, they're just gonna go right back to the Jinx, considering that they banned away the Kaylin and the Xayah, 2 ADCs that definitely outrange the Jinx just a little bit and could cause a headache. But IDT does have all 3 of their bans back, which means they have come in full force, trying to ban away these very late game scaling carries that I imagine Dorado Gaming IOTA is probably very comfortable with.
Yeah.
Something interesting is this Kaisa pickup.
Yeah, I mean, Kaiser J4 definitely, good synergy, gets us set up with the plasma stacks. I'm interested to see how ID Toxin choose to round off the rest of their comp. I think, really, really interesting to see Kaiser J4. Jinx definitely has a lot of a range advantage, but very, very immobile. I don't think Bubster wants to be going crack Gale Force as well. So, definitely some danger points to consider here going in towards this game. I think that's going to be something that's, you know, interesting to see. We see the Braum pickup. What do you think about a Braum pickup compared to Thresh is open too?
I'm a little confused, yeah, as to why Braum is picked up. I'm also confused as to why we picked Jarvan when the Thresh was still available, and Blobby showed a very you know keen sense of wanting to play it with that Jinx, right? Because right now with the Jarvan, the Jinx doesn't have a way to escape the Cataclysm that will be able to get dropped on top of them. And Braum, if they're not standing on top of the Jinx, if they're standing, a little bit too far away, will not be able to be there with them. And this is really interesting because ID Toxin banned the Gwen in their first game with their one and only ban. And that Top Dream is going to be pulling out in this second game. And something to note, right, is the theme right now at Dorado Gaming is they have a lot of slows and they have a lot of ability to engage it with you through slowing you and chasing you down. But as a result, ID Toxin are just going to keep going, with the strategy that they've decided to draft with this game, which is just going to be, we are going to run at you. We don't care. We're taking the fight to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like the Gwen pickup though. I think it denies a lot of the ability for ID Toxin to be able to play the fight. And if Yoon Gaming is as good as Blanco DX, that Gwen is gonna be a very, very big problem. So I think that top lane matchup will be crucially important. I like the Zac ban to deny some of the disengage, deny some of the crowd control options. But what do you expect to see in terms of the rest of the draft when it comes to both Dorado Gaming, IOTA, and ID Toxin?
Just this, in fact. I was gonna expect control mages to be banned away from ID Toxin and tank engaged junglers to be banned away from Dorado Gaming IOTA, which is exactly what we're seeing, right? It seems like a bit of a cheap out answer, but you talked too long, so I didn't get to look
Cheers,
good.
Septi. Cheers.
I didn't get to
Cheers,
look
man.
good. Um,
Cheers. You take too long
Shady,
between turns.
I okay. Anyway, with this next fight coming out, I imagine it'll be something like a Victor, maybe like a
Yeah, there you go,
like a
Victor.
Victor. So Nara instantly hovered by ID Toxin is going to get picked up, and a matchup that's kind of interesting into the Gwen, right? The Gwen does have her Shrouded Mist, which will allow her to dodge some of those long range autos coming out from the Gnar. If they do ever end up getting into a fight, but the Lee Sin locked in by Shady Gecko. I don't actually think is that Shady Gecko's Lee Sin.
It's Lee Sin mid.
I think
It's
it
Lee
is
Sin
Lee
mid.
Sin
It's Lee
mid.
Sin mid.
I think it is Lee Sin mid. I think you're absolutely correct. They've taken away the control mages in mid lane, which means that the only picks left available for mid lane will be a little bit squishier and maybe a little bit more abusable into this Lee Sin. But realistically,
I mean, okay. Here's the thing.
they
Do they
could
know?
also counter pivot and just go for something like maybe a Set or a Lissandra.
Do they know it's Lee Sin mid?
I'd assume they know it's Lee Sin mid.
I mean, there's definitely a chance they could think, oh, maybe it's like Gwen mid, Poppy top.
Well, think about the champions that Shady Gecko and Sluter play. right? Maybe we know this more than ID Toxin do, but Shady Gecko is not really a Lee Sin player. Um, doesn't really, not that he can't play it, just doesn't opt to play for those types of fights. The Poppy definitely is a more standard Gecko pick. It also is something that we'll be looking to roam around the map. Gwen already being picked up and unlikely to go to the mid lane. Um, just means that the only place for this Lee Sin to go will be that mid lane, unless for some reason we're playing Lee Sin support. Um, in which case I have no idea where this game is going.
Well, Septi, speaking of places where this game is going, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. Definitely going to be an absolute banger. Both these teams going at it in trash talk in between games, going crazy at it. You got to get the typing on the road, but you know, one thing to keep in mind is that there's just a lot of mechanical prowess required from both compositions right now. You see Silas, you see Lee Sin, you see the Gwen, you see Nar. Does Nar need mechanics, Septi?
Yes.
There you go. You see
Yes.
Nar, and I like the Poppy. It's a great denial pick to get rid of the 5 dashes that ID Toxic could have on like one for each champion. So I think it's gonna once again really matter. In the jungle, who can get ahead. I think the Lee Sin mid is definitely a Sluter special, an absolute anomaly. But I think if he can perform on it, Dorado Gaming Auto go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it seems as though they threw convention out the window with the second phase of draft, which I feel like is something very unique to Dorado. They often do this in a lot of their teams, yours included, I'm pretty sure, JC, where they'll have a fairly standard 1, 2, and or 3 picks even, but then the second phase comes around and then all logic goes out the window and we just pick whatever. Not to say that this Lee Sin mid can't do well, and I'd be very happy to eat my words if it does do well. It's just not something we've seen a whole lot of. It hasn't really gotten many changes recently um, to buff it up in this mid lane. And so I don't really know what it will do. Granted, the Silas is a great matchup for the Lee Sin. Um, we'll be able to trade nicely. We'll be able to get lane prio without having to get harassed by a long range mage. Um, but with Sluter locking it in, I'm kind of curious because I don't think I've ever seen them play Lee Sin mid before.
Well, I could tell you I have seen my Sluty play Lisa in mid so many times. He goes crazy on it. It's definitely one of his pocket picks. And I have confidence that he can perform. I think they're saying that is it a Silas or is it a Pantheon? I don't know if they clarified or something.
I
I
didn't
just
see
want to
anything in game chat.
yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out, but
Well, the Silas
you know,
has been locked in for the
oh,
record.
Silas has been all kind. Okay, then I'm tripping. But what I'm not tripping about is, once again, the composition just screams the fact that Top Dream and Bubster just have the room to go absolutely crazy with their damage. You have Poppy, you have Lee Sin, you have Braum playing as these kind of wardens to play for those kicks, play for plays to get the rest of the squad out. But on the other hand, ID Toxin have a great team fight composition to work with. Stylus can steal so many great ultimates here. I think it's really going to be down to execution, mechanics, and overall just how composed both these teams can be.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make one last note before we went to break is that, looking at these two teams, right, you have ID Toxin who have picked 3 fairly consistent scalers, or not 3, but they've picked a team of consistent scalers. Every champion, sort of regardless of how much gold that they get in this game, will have a use at some point, right? You expect the Kai'Sa to have a certain power level, Silas, Gnar, all to reach a certain level of strength. Um, and the Lee Sin on the side of Dorado Gaming is sort of a pick that does not follow that same mindset and has the potential to flop if things do not go their way. And so Gwen and Jinx, granted, will have the ability to scale into this game fairly well. Lee Sin, if they're not able to get rolling, will struggle a little bit. But I'm really excited to see what will happen. And just to kick us off, uh, and getting into this game too, we will be taking a quick break for a short spectator delay. But stick around; we'll be right back for Dorado Gaming Iota versus ID Toxin Game 2.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on towards Summoner's Rift Game 2 between Dorado Gaming, Iota, and ID Toxin. Anything off note to take here, Septi? Any interesting runes, summoners, spells? What are your thoughts?
Sluder came to play. Sluder has that ignite in the mid lane again this game, and is really going to be trying their very best to really take it to Hollis and show up in this melee v melee matchup. Hollis was able to sort of hide behind the range pick and Syndra versus the Akali last game, and we already saw how aggressive Sluder was in that matchup. And so looking at, this matchup in the mid lane now, I'm really curious to see how it will be played. Typically in the past, we've seen Lee Sins go for an E start into an E max just to be able to get that wave push and really move around the map. But Blue Ping's going onto the blue buff of the side of Dorado Gaming means that Shady Gecko will actually make a very late pivot towards the top side here. I don't actually believe they'll make it to their blue buff in time for it to spawn. Actually, I'm kidding.
Blast Plant clutching up.
Yeah. Nope, they're walking around. They're not blast planting. What the heck?
Oh, cheers.
Anyway.
Right, what did Sluder start in lane? Sluder started the Q in lane for the Lee Sin. I mean, I think into the silent. Okay, as the mid laner here, Septi.
As the Lee Sin player here.
Hey, I played Lee Sin as well in ranked. I went crazy on it, man.
What's your mastery, huh?
4. I'm Chinese though, so I automatically have like mastery 8.
Okay, we're pulling out those cards now. Okay, sounds good.
Cheers.
Anyway, jugglers are starting their respective top sides, which means that Sutek and Shady Gecko should be meeting each other on the bot side of the map after they're clear. But Jarvan, being the champion that he is, will actually be ahead on this clear. Granted, Gromp's much harder to take than Krugs these days. But Sutek, being a little bit faster on their clear does mean that they will be able to potentially look for a play first. And a very common thing these days has been to red camp, 3 camp into a gank, and we already see Sutek looking at mid.
Yeah, Sluder might be in trouble here. Does he have that W available? No, Sluder doesn't get changed up by the Silas, forced out to flash. So it's going to be a successful gank if we're using that as a metric. No teleport available on Lee Sin. Very aggressive summoner spell choices, and this wave state is not looking good for Sluder right now. If Sutek decides to re-gank this middle lane, he might be in trouble here. Hollis wants to go for a trade. He's going to go for the all in here, but Sluder with the Conqueror. First blood goes to Sludy. That's the Lee Sin mid, baby.
Never punished. Never punished if you're Sluder. Oh my goodness, Hollis getting taken to Pound Town in this mid lane, and Sutek is not done. I mean, I don't really know what can happen here as missing pings go onto the Jarvan, but Poppy should be able to finish this red buff before Jarvan even shows up, and Sutek and Poppy just gonna wave hello to each other as the bot lane just walks it out. I mean, that mid lane play, right, is really unfortunate if you're Sluder, or not if you're Sluder, rather, if you're Hollis. But Top Dream actually does have the ghost.
Oh, Top Dream gonna pop the ghost. You see the flash from Shady Gecko. Doesn't get the stun onto it. Showwell kills well. Sutek going in with that knockoff. Kinda able to pick up the kill on towards Shady Gecko. Though that Braum passive is stacking up. Bumps pumping out some damage on towards Leona, but a flash on her means that Chill Will Kills will be able to just walk on out of there. You Gaming not gonna be able to get punished in the top lane too. Doesn't even need to burn the flash. So it's a 1-for-0 trade. Kaisa gets the kill, picks up a solid amount of gold. But once again, this mid lane matchup, Sluder just playing by the margins there, playing Sluder's with that Conqueror. Gonna get the kill early, but Sluder definitely in trouble here. Uses that Q. Does he have that ward hop to get on out of there? Not gonna be able to dodge out on the damage. Sluder wants to take the ego fight though. Does he have that W available in time? Gets the kill. Sluder with the solo kill. Uses the execute damage on that Sonic Wave. The Penguin cheer goes on in, and Septi. This is why he does what he does.
I mean, it's the pickaxe advantage for Sluder. Makes very good use of it in the bot side in game, and almost going down there on the top side. But I mean, I think that was definitely misplayed from Hollis and Sutek. I feel like they should have been able to find something onto Sluder. Definitely tanked up far too many minions here in the mid lane, and as a result, Sluder was able to find a very nice second kill, and will already have their Iron Spike whip 5 minutes into this game. We'll be looking to come back into lane and have a really nice amount of profit.
Well, going in on towards Bubster right now. Leona might have just stepped forward a bit too much. The flash forced out of Chill Will Kills. One more auto would do it, but no. Yormon's OP gonna be in trouble now. That's the Braum pass and stunned up. Chill Will Kills gonna get picked up by Blobby. The reset coming in from Bubster's well, but Yormon's OP using that bush control to his advantage. Picks up the kill with the Void Seeker, but Your Mom's OP not looking too long for this one. One more auto from Blobby will be able to do it, not able to get the kill with that tower damage. Hollis is going to be able to be there though. Blobby ward hops over towards the minion, the W, the auto picks up the return kill to Silas, able to get himself back on the board with something there, but in the bot lane, that's a 700 gold advantage for Your Mom's OP.
Yeah, 2 kills going on to the Kaisa and a kill going on to the Silas means that you are so happy if you are the side of ID Toxin right now. Your Kaisa sitting on a full Noon Quiver and pickaxe here. And oh my goodness, the item lead in the bot lane is so nice. It's a real shame that Blobby got both of those kills on the Braum, just not able to do enough from Bubster to actually pick up those kills. But as a result, I mean, Hollis doing a very nice job getting a roam onto the bot side means that they're going to be able to pick up an item of equivalent gold in this mid lane to match Sluter, who is now level 6, does have the Dragon's Rage available. But Hollis, interestingly enough, can take away the Dragon's Rage themselves and look for kick flashes potentially too. So I'm curious to see if we get any double kick flashes from these mid laners. Probably not, but it could be really interesting. And pretty quietly, the junglers have stayed even on CS besides that wild fight on the bot lane. They've just been clearing out the jungles, trying to, get rid of those jungle biscuits as fast as possible. But as I say that, Shady Gecko and Sutek are looking out of the bot side.
Yeah, hovering in towards this bot lane. Hovering towards the bot lane, Sutek gonna walk on in there, but just dissuaded out by Shady Gecko's presence. And my goodness, I mean, this is just a testy fight between both sides of the map right now. Going to be able to pressure in towards the jungle and clear out some vision, but Sluter is using this mid priority, using the control he has, the Iron Spike with the wave clear. Going to go for the trade in on towards his bot side, but Sluter goes for that Dragon's Rage on towards Hollis. Not going to be able to enough on the damage. Sluter might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ward hops away. Are the minion autos going to be able to kill him? No. Blob able to save him with that W with the buff. That was almost really testy. Sluter might be in trouble. Gets shut down by Hollis. The chain predict on the movement, able to pick up the kill on towards the Iota mid laner. And once again, this is just such a brawly game here, Septi. 4-4 on the kill score, almost perfectly even too.
Yeah, I mean, doing a really nice job to get themselves back into it. Hollis just finding so much advantage in this top team is not going to let us breathe. Does have the needlework available if they decide to turn it around, but Yoon Gaiman having the flash still available means that they are going to hold on to it. But I mean, something to know, right? Sluter, JC, without looking, what do you think Sluter is maxing?
Without looking, I think Sluter is maxing Q, because he just isn't doing enough damage right now. But Sluter, speaking of damage, has enough for Sutek. Septi, what was the answer to the pop quiz?
The answer was Q.
Hell yeah, I'm a genius.
The answer was Q, but again,
I'm so smart.
That's a jungle maxing, not a.
Yeah, he should be maxing E. Quite frankly,
should be maxing E. Just because in lane when you're playing Lee Sin, you're not going to be able to reliably land Q onto the enemy laner, and so
getting it onto minions is not value.
Yeah, you want to be using it onto the minions. You'll be able to trade into a melee champion like Silas anyway, if they're in range of the minions, so you'll be getting E damage down onto them anyway. And so maxing Q sort of is a little bit redundant. Yes, you get a nice bit, or not redundant, it's just a little bit unnecessary for this point in the game. Yes, you get a nice bit of execute damage if you end up fighting, which they have been doing a lot of. But in the long run, in a lane, if you're not really, full committing, 100-0, as Sluter is constantly looking for, if the lane is more standard, you won't find as nice of a time. But hold on, Yoon Gaiman trying to get a trade onto top Dream.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Yoon Gaiman is 2 levels down on top Dream, Septi. This is not looking good for the top laner of ID Toxin. The needlework forces out the flash. And I mean, top Dream, it's looking like ID Toxin is still playing with an E-sub right now with the way top Dream has such a big lead again.
Yeah, I don't know how Yoon Gaiman had so much of a XP difference in the top side there. I see the CS lead is about 40 in favor of top team, which at this point in the game is massive, but I don't know how it came to be. I don't think much jungle pressure went towards that top side, and so the fact that Yoon has fallen so far behind is really detrimental to this ID Toxin side, along with the fact that the mid lane is ahead in Sluter. Bubster has been able to evenly scale pretty much in this bot side. But I mean, looking at the way this game goes, Chill Will Kills is going to walk into a Braum and is going to get stunned up a little bit. But Shady Gecko is here, does have the flash.
Yeah. Is spotted out on that lane ward though, so ID Toxin have full knowledge about Shady Gecko's presence. Looks like he's just going to be able to back on up here. But once again, I mean, top Dream, I think it's just top gap step deep. That's why he's up 2 levels. But
yeah, top Dream, top gap, they're synonymous with each other. And
yeah, absolutely.
He's going to try and sneak in.
Sutek isn't spotted out by the wards though. Shady Gecko is hovering in towards this bot side, so if it's gonna be a fight, it's gonna be a 3v3. We see Shady Gecko come in for the gank though, but there's no idea that Sutek is here. Huge Leono follow whip with the J4 Cataclysm. Your mom's will be able to get 1 kill. Blobby might be in trouble. The Pavio is gonna be able to whip away the J4, but your mom's will be able to get that double kill. Shady Gecko gonna be able to trade one back. Sluter wants to get the look on towards Joe Wilkins. Can he get that execute with the Q? No, Hollis wants to continue to look for the J. Sluter might be in trouble. Does have that Dragon's Rage available, does have that flash, but I don't think Sluter is going to be able to get on out of this one. Sutek picks up the kill. It's a 2-for-1, and it's looking great for ID Toxin.
Yeah, I mean, your Mama's OP even getting the benefit of giving that kill to the Poppy while Sluter was trying to move down from mid lane there. But I mean, just very nicely played. I think Sluter was going to be able to kill Chill Will kills, but was actually interrupted by the Silasy. As you know, we just see that Sluter has nowhere to go here. He's just trying desperately to make anything happen, but Sutek and Hollis just doing a very nice job cleaning up that fight on the bot side, where your mom's OP was able to pick up another 2 kills to continue snowballing in this game. And I believe they already have their E upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not actually quite sure the breakpoints. Let me see if I can look at that real quick.
You know what? I'm gonna look for you too as well, Septi. No, he doesn't have any upgrades.
They do not have it yet. No upgrades yet. But other than that, I mean, just very nicely played from the side of ID Toxin. They're somehow, I say somehow, I know exactly how they're down 200 gold. It's because of this top lane matchup.
Yeah, Top Stream is absolutely rifling it in towards Yoon Gaming up 1,100 gold. Just, it's almost like he solo killed him a couple times with just this absolutely momentous difference right now. Crucially though, in the mid lane, Hollis is up 100 on top of Sluter. Sutek down 100 on Shady Gecko. This ball lane is where that difference is largest between the 80 carries. Your Mon OP is just up 1,200 gold. This Rift Herald absolutely wasted. Just give free XP over on towards the ID Toxin AD carry. And if he could play as well as he did last game, you know, on this with this lead on Kaisa this time, you know, it might look like we have a game 3 set.
That's a little bit of a misplay, I believe, from Gecko. I think when Top Dream is as far ahead as they are, I think you absolutely drop that Herald for the Gwen on the top side, and also look to really threaten Yoon Gaiman's life, because yes, they're behind, but their kill gold is still even. Their kill gold is still fresh, right? So if you actually start focusing the top side now, if you're this Poppy, after all the disadvantage that Top Dream has created, you should really be able to put the nail in the coffin there just by 1 or maybe even 2 ganks, because once that happens, Top Dream should just be able to run down Yoon Gaiman and not really have any say from this Gnar. Granted, the wave is in a very nice spot for the Gwen. Should be able to freeze us in front of their tower and create a very nice long lane to potentially chase down the little Gnar there, who does not have flash yet. And so if Top Dream actually decides to catch Yoon just a little bit too far up the lane, you could see a solo kill come out, and this actually might be the situation here. If Top Dream is able to stack these 4, could go forward here. Does have the ghost.
Yeah, we just need a top lane all in here. Ghost not used just yet. Top Dream gonna walk on him, but a flash knocked up coming in from Sutek. Is that gonna be enough damage? No, not gonna be able to get the kill, but it looks like it's gonna be a stalemate on towards the top side. Sluter wants to take the fight in towards Hollis, though. Does he have enough damage? Is he gonna be able to land that last Q? Yes, he does. Sluter, take it, Sluter. The flash swallow shut down, going over the shield. Safeguard, not gonna be enough. It's gonna be a 1-for-1. But if you're Sluter, you take that. That's a shutdown. It levels the gold 100 back in towards your favor. The flashes, summoners forced out from both mid laners. It's definitely a good kill to take, but you know, not the most optimal. We see the stun going in on towards Your Mom's OP. The all-in gonna follow up here. We see the killer instinct coming on in, the stun coming on in as well. Your Mom's OP, does he have enough damage through the exhaust? Bobster able to pick up the kill. Chill Will kills. Is gonna flash up for the follow. The E is gonna be able to land on towards the Jinx as well. But that Braum passive, the slows are just stacking up, and you're just gonna get spaced to nothing. Bobster and Blobby pick up the bot lane 2v2.
I was gonna say, oh my goodness, that bot side fight. Blobby is the absolute MVP of that. Bubster did have some nice kiting, but the usage of the Unbreakable from Blobby there was absolutely supreme just showing absolute champion mastery, being able to completely deny the bot lane of ID Toxin from doing anything in that fight there. A nice cleanse coming out from Bubster meant that not a second was dropped.
Sutek wants to flip and steal. I can't tell who got it.
It went to the Poppy.
Yeah, it does go over the Poppy, so Sutek kind of just... Sutek kind of just walked in and died, and then gave a kill to Sluter.
There's a bit of a desperation play in a game that doesn't seem too far gone from ID Toxin. Maybe feels it's a little bit more doomed than it is. And there's some banter going on in the chat, but I will not I will not go into that now. But either way, I mean, second Herald picked up for the side of Dorado Gaming means that they will be able to use it to break open one of these towers. I really want to see Shady Gecko be maybe a little bit more thoughtful with the second one, not really getting too much out of that first one. Meant that there was a lot left on the board in terms of both gold and tower pressure. The top Dream actually looking for Yoon Game and does have that finished Riftmaker available, means that this true damage and healing coming out from the Gwen is going to be even more potent than it was before. But looking at your mom's OP and Chillwell, Sluter might be overextended here.
Oh, Sluter definitely gonna be in trouble here. The Dragon's Rage is gonna be stolen away. Sluter just gonna get picked up again. Another shutdown. 70, we're just trading shutdowns mid.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, hold on.
Not gonna be able to land that last kill. Blobby just getting caught out here. The flash used for the cage cancelled. What is Sutek doing? Why did he cancel the cage? Oh my god! This is the CCS gameplay we're all looking for, ladies and gentlemen. I sold into the Jinx traps. J4 canceling the cage early. No kills going in towards the bot side, but you know, Top Dream is just picking up plates on his own again.
I believe he canceled the cage early because Blobby was about to jump out of it and he didn't want to get stuck behind the cage. But so, I mean, nothing happening on that bot side besides summoners being blown means that, you know, ultimately this play is gold positive for the side of Dorado Gaming, being able to pick up that top tower there. But Top Dream, hold on.
Top Dream, good movement to dodge out one. Can he dodge out the rest of the needlework? Hollis wasting this silence ultimate for this upcoming Drake. Keep in mind, Top Dream has that teleport available. I don't think he would be against sacrificing that tower or sacrificing a couple minions to make sure that Gwen, that fed as hell Gwen, is gonna be able to be in that fight.
I don't think Sutek realized that he was in kill range there. I don't think Sluter realized that Sutek was in kill range there.
No, Sluter didn't have ult. He wasn't in kill range.
Sluter does have ulti.
No, he didn't have it when Sutek was mid.
I believe he did. Because he didn't use it when he died before. So.
Cheers. Well, speaking of cheers, looks like looks like Dorado Gaming wants to look for this Drake first. The Poppy ult comes down. Oh, it's gonna be knock away those two frontline members. Your mom's OP just has to flash away to get away from Sluter and Top Dream. Free Dragon going over for the side of Iota. Nice flash going on there. Blast Plant over for 3 people, but Top Dream wants to look for the fight. The EQ from Sutek misses, and that Gwen is just shredding away. Snip. Circum Sister is gonna get traded away by the Kaisa Blobby. Gonna get picked up by that Braum as well. 1 for 2 going in the favor of ID Toxin. Hollis able to land the chain. Another shutdown going over towards the Silas. Hollis is looking like the man right now. 6-3 and 2 on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Hollis doing a very nice job showing the absolute champion mastery. It started off with a little bit of a scary fight. You saw Sutek miss the combo there, but ultimately very nicely done, caging them in. Getting a lot of value from the Gwen there from Dorado Gaming, but just quite not enough to make a difference there. But Hollis again landing a very nice you know, E onto the Jinx there means that Bubster rather is gonna go down as well. But I mean, I thought the play was a little bit foolhardy when I saw them hop over the wall together. I am very happy that I was wrong because it was a very nice play from ID Toxin, and they knew exactly what their limits were. You know, in that fight, and were able to pull back the gold lead, I believe, by about 2,000 in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely Top Dream, you know, looking for a play. I mean, from his initial position, you would think that's a good play, but speaking of another good play, Hollis jumping on towards Shady Gecko forces the Poppy to get on out of there. I mean, right now in this game state, honestly, I feel like it's moderately even. You know, Gnar just completed that first item, but if you think about Gnar as the champ, you know, plays for those ults. You think about J4 plays for that ult. Silas and Kaisa, the ones who have the gold, you know, they're ahead of their respective lane counterparts. And I think that's where it matters the most.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the level of evenness in this game. It's incredibly skewed in one direction, right? Everywhere is fairly even. Maybe the bot side of ID Toxin is a little bit ahead, but proportionally, the top side of Dorado Gaming is even so much more ahead. As Top Team actually getting out traded here by Yoon Gaming, does not have the Shrouded Mist available, but Nanar will just be very happy to sit back and collect this wave. I mean, looking at the gold lead, right? We see the Gwen still has about an 1800 gold lead onto this top side here, and that's a whole half an item advantage, right? We see it in that. Wait.
Yeah, you see it. The
Wait,
raw.
am I seeing those items right? Is that really about to be a Shadow Flame?
Shadow Flame is good on. Shadow Flame's not bad.
I mean, think about it, right? Enemy team has 3 melees and a close range ADC. Would you rather have? Oh, hold on. Not gonna.
Well, speaking of what would you rather have, Sutek, would you rather be alive or take away that blue buff? Great Braum all to all 3 Looter flies on it with the kick flash, but your mom will be able to get on out with that killer instinct. Top Dream on the side though is just gonna be able to chop away at that Kaisa. Sutek able to go. Sutek doesn't get on out of there. Bubster with the rocket from downtown. Dorado getting how to pick up 3 for nothing.
I mean, Dorado could be doing a very nice job there, being able to pick up that fight with Sutek again, just not where he's supposed to be. We saw little bits of it in that last game on the Wukong, but they had the clone to get out of any situation that they were found themselves in. But this starts with a very nice ultimate coming up from Lobby there, and the kick flash from you know, Sluter was nice, but was able to get instantly recovered from by the use of the Kaisa ulti, and we could have potentially seen Sutek go down there to top 3, but a very nice snipe coming out from Bubster means that it's just a free fight win and Baron for the side of Dorado Gaming. I don't even think they lost anything besides a bot tower throughout that entire exchange. So as a result, we're going to be seeing a 3,000 gold lead now for the blue side here, and Top Dream has that Shadow Flame after all of that fighting.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 items on all the various carries for the side of Dorado Gaming. Iota, no items. Nar just yet, but that kind of 2.5 items is definitely very, very strong. I think last fight, going back to your point, Sepsi, the kick flash from Suter was good, and it forced out the killer instinct way too early, and it exposed your mom's OP to the Gwen, to Top Dream, who could just basically just cut down that Kaisa so easily, absolutely zero threat. You know, from a level 14 Gwen here, you see Sluter trading in with you gaming, but I don't know if that's what you want to be able to take here. Mega Gnar is very, very powerful, and Sluter might just get punished because of this transgression here. The killer instinct is able to get the double knockup, but is it going to be enough? Yormon's OP. Sluter gets the trade, walks on in towards that double kick, and Sluter just outplays it mechanically. Uses the stat check button and picks up another kill. Shady Gecko cancels the Gnar hop. The Poppy is just so tanky, but this is going to be a play on towards the mid lane as well. This bomb is just going to be in so much trouble. Is it going to be enough? No, the cage following on up, and Blobby going to get cut down by Sutek.
I would love to call Sluter's play pure skill. I think the killer instinct was a little bit too killer. Your mom's OP got there a little bit too fast and got both knocked up by the Dragon's Rage as well as hit with the Sonic Wave from the Lee Sin, who Sluter did not even know.
You're saying cheers.
Yeah, true, exactly. And as a result, Sluter was able to drop the Ignite onto the Kaisa and get a trade back kill. But very nice find from the side of ID Toxin to pick up the Braum there in the mid lane, which means that they're able to hold on Kaisa.
Oh, shit!
Oh my goodness. Bubster says, I want this game to be done in 2. Give me 2 Jinx games so I can move on. Sutek. I mean,
Sutek, let's say BCB Galaxy with this performance.
The thing is, that was smiteable, right? That was at, oh, here we see it. We get to see it again. Hold on. Let's see how low this dragon gets. It gets all the way down to 1140, which is absolutely in smite range. But ultimately, I mean, just a great rocket, great timing from Bubster. I'm sure he knew exactly what the timing was going to be in that moment. So 7-head Bubster means that second Mountain Dragon goes over to Dorado Gaming, and while the last game had the Chemtexel Mountain Dragon is so much more useful in a game like this when you have champions, you know, like Jarvan, like Gnar, who really aren't overkilling you with too much damage, right? They're kind of doing just enough to get you down to 0. And with every stack of these Mountain Dragons, you're making that just down to 0 a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and speaking of things that, like, you know, that, you know, make things harder within the game, I think just check on his items is just so far behind. Just finished, yeah, just finished, you know, that long sword compared to Shady Gecko, who has the bombies, has the Bramble Vest. So sure, doesn't have a second item, but is still ahead in terms of the value that those secondary items bring. Thornmail just finished up for Shady Gecko here. And then you look at Top Dream, 2.5 items. Gnar is on poverty right now, still sitting on 1. Go towards that mid lane, 2.5 items done for Sluter, 2.5 done for Hollis as well. I hope he goes Cosmic Drive, especially because it's very powerful right now, but her mom's OP, 3 item of Kaisa, so absolutely looking very strong. But you look at Bubster, almost there to that IE, only around 1,000 gold off. So that's going to be a very dangerous kind of component as well. I think these fights, they're going very, very back and forth. It's going to be down to what ult Hollis can steal. It's going to be down to how well your mom's OP can position. I think they're the key for ID Toxin to get back into this game.
Yeah, I think Bubster is going to be picking up that Bloodthirster third. Was the item of choice for them in that last game. But, I mean, Sutek, the reason he's so far behind right now is for 2 reasons, right? Was not able to get anything really going in the early game. Was not able to pick up too many kills. And then as a result, was forced to sort of try and make plays at an uncomfortable rate. And Top Dream is just absolutely safe here. Nothing is going to happen. But as a result, he got pulled away from his camps, which in turn were either taken away, you know, by the members of Dorado Gaming, or just left up entirely, unable to be taken in Hollis. You need to know that that wave is coming in and that Dorado is coming with it. As well, so let's coming out.
Great cleanse from Bubster as well. Dissuades the engage. So can the rest of ID Toxin follow up? No more Leona ult. Means that the engage options just become that much harder for the side of the ID Toxin. I mean, you look at this game state right now. What can ID Toxin do to get back into this game, Septi?
ID Toxin needs to just try and hard commit to a single quadrant of the jungle. They need to sweep out that quadrant, and they need to try and pick someone who's too overextended. A situation like this would be absolutely perfect, right? Sluter and Shady Gecko are here by themselves, and there's double the members from ID Toxin there. It's an absolute shame that they don't have you know, Flag of War. If they knew that Blobby and Bubster were in the base, I feel like they would have absolutely gone on it. But just finding vision, being able to find an opportunity to pick out the enemy team is absolutely what you need to be doing if you are ID Toxin. The only other situation that could potentially get you back into this game is if Dorado Gaming go for a far too... Am I broken? What's going on? Oh, JC's broken? Okay, sorry. I thought he said he couldn't hear me. The only other situation, rather, for ID Toxin to, you know, get back into this game would be if Dorado Gaming goes for a Baron and ID is able to poke them off of it or poke them near it and turn it into a fight. But with them so far away, I don't think they're actually going to be able to go for it. As hold on, goes low, gets perfect smited by Bubster, I believe. I think it went down from that 1300 mark, and Shady Gecko and Bubster combining to knock that down. But I like this from Dorado Gaming. You have Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. They want to get their item purchases in. Bubster is going to have that finished Bloodthirster, and Top Dream is going to have a finished Death Cap for this third Dragon fight for themselves. It does spawn in 15 seconds, and it does mean that ID Toxin is going to have control of that river, but your mom's OP has a different plan in mind. Is going to be looking for this potential top lane play onto Top Dream, but it's gonna get spotted out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm good now. I'm back, Septi. My mic working now. My goodness, I hate my headset, man. But anyways, you know, speaking of things that ID Toxin hate, you know, they hate committing to something. The play's all over the place right now. They're gonna go for the Mega Gnar on towards Top Dream, but not able to get the stun on towards that wall. Now snipping. It's just way too much. Help! Your mom's OP. The Dragon goes over to the side of Dorado Gaming out, and they want to keep gulagging this when, but why do we continue to commit here? Top Dream does have that dash, does have that true damage, picks up the kill on towards your mom's OP. It's already worth. Can he keep going? That's so much healing, Septi, but no. Sutek able to claim that final shutdown, and it means that there's some gold that does finally in towards the ID Toxic jungler, but look at how much they're losing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-for-1. It took you 3 members to knock down a single member of Dorado Gaming. The top team was doing such a nice job kiting it out there. It's just a shame that they didn't have the E available to dodge that Jarvan combination. But actually, very nicely done from Sutek. Was able to, I believe I was missing my mic there.
And they
Was
here.
able to hold their, oh, hold on. They might actually end
Oh,
it.
they're going for it. Hollis does
They're
have that
trying.
kick and that flash available. We see OP kills. We see the showbill kills does go on in. Hollis gets the kick on towards 4, but that's just not enough damage. That did no damage right there. We see Jinx autoing it away at those towers. Death timers are 2 more seconds on that J4. It's a 4 versus 4 right now. Leona is down. Do they have the damage? Do they have the ability to get on the flash star? Does come in, but Bubster is just so safe. That steadfast presence is just way too much from Shady Gecko. Bubster is just gonna free auto all the way. He's gonna end the game with full HP, Septi. And just like that, Dorado Gaming Iota pick up the 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, Iota doing a very nice job in that game. Were able to show just how dominant they were. They were not happy after getting smashed by Hardhead Zone last week, and they wanted to come back this week and be absolutely dominant in their matchup against ID Toxin. And I think they showed that, right? We saw 2 consistent games of Top Dream, doing really well into their respective matchup. Had to play against 2 separate top laners and performed really well against both of them. Sutek in the jungle variety, Toxin tried very hard to make plays happen. Did a very nice job in the early game of game 1, but Shady Gecko was just able to stay consistent throughout the rest of that first game and carry that performance into the second game. Just really stonewall the aggressive Jarvan pick coming out. So a nice job from the Dorado jungler. Sluter is a true Dorado gaming mid laner. I say that in the sense of loves the content, is willing to trade for kills all the time. Um, and just show that they're, mechanically better, right? So picking champions like the Akali, like the Lee Sin, just doing a nice job to, have full control of that mid lane. Was able to find some key highlight plays, and then we have to talk about the bot lane. Lastly, right before
I
I think
mean,
we get an interview.
Bubster.
Bubster, I mean, and Blobby, you cannot
Yeah,
discredit the
both of them,
support, right?
absolutely.
Both of
Yeah,
them
I
played
mean,
absolutely amazing, right? Bubster had some crazy highlights. Blobby doing a great job in the early and mid game to keep their AD carry safe the entire time, so that Bubster was able to become the monster that they were. Just
mhm.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just really well executed. Sure, I think there were slip ups here and there for both teams, but I think when it came down to it, I mean, Shady Gecko, he did 5,200 damage. He did less damage than his own Braum. But the thing is, he did the glorious job of playing Poppy, making sure that those conditions were met, making sure that the right things were done. And I mean, it's well played. I think we're gonna get Rocket. We're gonna get Top Dream for the interview. So if we can
Sure.
get someone to drag him on in, drag in the birthday boy,
Is
that'd
it
be
his
an
birthday?
absolute. It is his birthday today, Septi. I was saying
Wow.
it earlier.
I heard you say it once. I think there was a fight or something, and then I forgot.
You
Um,
deaf. You deaf, man.
no, I heard you say it. I just
Uh, Top Dream Rocket. Oh, okay. Tell him to join. Have
All right.
help.
Well, I mean, while we're getting this set up, we are going to take just a short break to get Top Dream in here, and we'll be back for the interview of this quite dominant series.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on towards the CCS Intermediate Casting Desk. After a back and forth 2-0 victory for Dorado Gaming Auto, we have the top laner, Top Dream Rocket. Happy birthday. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. That was a fun series. It's close. I know some of the players, so I felt fun playing them.
I mean, that sounds really nice, right? You get to play against some of your friends. We saw a bunch. Well, not we, but JC and I saw a bunch of banter going on in all chat throughout the games. I didn't want to make light of any of it. I didn't know.
I mean, they talk a lot
Gotta
of
keep
crap,
it.
so
Gotta keep it family friendly here. But I mean,
yeah.
You letting them
um,
know?
letting them know. They certainly let them know throughout the game. But I mean, I sort of wanted to talk first of all about what you guys went over, what you guys sort of focused on in this last week after playing Hard Hat Zone. I know it's sort of a rough series for you guys, not really able to get much going. Was there anything you took from that series to propel you to such a dominant 2-0 today?
Um, we basically just got a better read of the meta, understanding like what champions are actually good. Like we originally just never picked Jinx, but the first game, but then we got a lot of practice on it, and then we realized that Jinx is actually a really good champion, and I think our team is like really good at playing front to back comps, so we just kind of locked it in, and we just practiced that. I mean, we didn't scrim much, but
Yeah, I mean, scrimming a lot doesn't necessarily mean success or loss, but I mean, yeah, you guys definitely did do a very nice job playing out those front to back comps. So we joked about it in the first game. The compositions were sort of which front line breaks first is going to be the team that loses the fight. Um,
yeah.
but so I mean, you guys did a good job in these last two games. Sort of looking at the top laners that you played tonight, did you sort of take a different mindset going into them, I guess, each individually, rather.
Um,
Let me rephrase that. Did you have a different mindset playing against each different top laner tonight?
no, they were roughly the same. They were just weak side top laners.
All right, fair enough. I mean, and
Mm.
you completely dominated with your picks. Um, and then you talked about the Jinx being super strong in these games. Sort of take me through what your fight priorities were throughout these throughout these two games. Was it sort of to dive the backline, or were you trying to just sort of peel back and play for the Jinx? Because it sort of seemed like you guys were doing a bit of both, but let me know what
Yeah.
you guys were sort of feeling.
Now looking back at the game, I think I should have played a lot more front to back and helped the Jinx get a reset. But a lot of the time, Sluter was like in the back line, causing like a mayhem, and I was trying to like keep up with him. So I kind of like wasn't panning on my Jinx, and then the Jinx was kind of getting run over by Wukong Sion, which made the game at mid game and early game a bit close. But um, at the second game, I think we played it a lot better, where I was focusing the proper targets.
Nice. I
Mm,
mean, you got a crazy 1v3 in the top side. Sorry, JC, go for it.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this could so we're hearing that this could potentially be the last series you play with Dorado Gaming Out, and how do you feel about that? What are the whole prospects about it, and what are your just kind of thoughts and anything you want to say about that, really?
I'm a bit disappointed. I think my team I think this is the best team I've ever played with so far, like out of my entire like comp career, I guess. I think we have a really stable team. Um, for the win rate contract that I got, it was really unfortunate because I won like 5 games in a row, and I was getting like plus 40 LP, and then I got instantly to D2, and now if I win the next game, I'm like out of this league, which is pretty disappointing. I really wanted to. I think we can really go far in this league, and I can like make a name for myself if that makes sense.
Mm. Absolutely. I mean, Flay is a fraud after all. Imposing all these strange contracts and weird rulings, typical CCS behavior, unfortunately. But it's good to hear that you're progressing really well and that you have good faith in your team.
Yeah.
You got questions?
Yeah, I mean, I had one last question before we let you go and celebrate your victory tonight. I mean, yes, we talked about potentially, this being your last series. Is there anything that you would like to say to the CCS intermediate community as sort of a shout out or, whatever you'd like to say before we let you go?
We have the best bot lane in the league.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
That's about it.
Alrighty.
All right, huge.
Well,
Do you want us to clip you that 1v3 as well or what?
Sure, sure, sure.
cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, that was an absolute banger from matching Dorado Gaming Auto and ID Talks. And thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm jasoncript5. I have Septi with me. Thank you to Mr. Van Oh, Mr. Fantastic for production for us. And thank you, Top Dream. Happy birthday to you again for showing up on the interview. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you all next week.